Today we're talking about Say Yes to the Dress.
Oh God.
I hate you.
If you ever make me watch something on TLC for one of these reviews, I swear to God, I will burn everything you own down.
Welcome back to I'll See Myself Out. Today we're talking about She's All That. My name is Dan Lisho.
I'm Brian Patel.
I'm censored.
And I'm Norm.
Consider these your only warnings.
There will be foul language.
There will be spoilers.
And there will be foul language.
So there are a few things in my mind that it did work. One, it ended. Two, it is using an old trope that has been kind of rejigged for new kids. The characters, the father, I think her father is actually pretty good.
I fucking loved that guy.
He's the little dude from Willow. The part about this movie that I took away when I was younger was when Freddie Prinze Jr. looked down at McCulkin and was like, everything copacetic? I fucking took that line and ran with it. I said it all throughout high school. I couldn't stop.
I stuck on redundant.
Do you know how funny it is that you use redundant over and over again?
So Freddie Prinze Jr. was the rich kid, popular kid who was also smart.
He was a fucking genius, evidently, because he got accepted to Yale, Harvard, and Dartmouth.
Well, he got in there like everybody else. He paid his way in.
He let everything lapse, but wanted to decide to go to art school because that's a career.
Me checks my resume. Whoops.
He's a genius. His friends are interacting, and there's one scene specifically after he makes the bet. The girls that he's talking to are talking about how he's hanging out with Rachael Leigh Cook's character. The one girl pipes out, she goes, she's gonna shit frisbees. 1, ouch. 2, how? And 3, what is the biggest object? Can you actually physically shit?
Which way are you shooting the frisbee? Because maybe it like re-expands as it's coming out, forming along the crack.
What does it mean by shitting frisbees? This is a term from the 90s that I never heard.
What you gonna do, crunch a grumpy?
To expedite this, I feel like they made it up for the movie.
How about the pubes on a pizza?
I forgot that scene happened until I saw it again. That guy must have so many pubes.
What, did we have like a mane of pubic hair? Like just be walking around like some 70s bush?
Oh, worse than that.
Did you notice that the strands that he throws on the pizza, there's like 5 when he first puts it on, and then it's a mountain when he goes to eat it?
No, I feel like he put a bushel on there.
He gingerly struggled it on.
Struggled it on. Fuck you, Terry.
Like, you know when a recipe calls for a pinch? That wasn't a pinch. He went like full in. He eagle clawed a bunch of pubes out and put them on that fucking pizza.
It's like he got that from Free Toppings Pizza.
Yeah, he was like, go wild, pubes everywhere.
By the way, Free Toppings wants to sponsor us. My favorite part about that scene was how believable the bite that he took out of that pizza was.
Yeah.
Like he's super shaky and he looks like he's about to cry. Like that guy doesn't strike me as like the world's best actor, but in that scene, holy shit.
I want to talk about the visual arts and the hacky sack moment.
Sack.
Everybody's counting on you, Zach.
When it's in Lord of the Dance.
Well, never mind just the performing arts part. The scene when they first introduce her as sitting in the studio at school in the art class, and the teacher comes up to her. By the way, the teacher has a fucking feather that she walks around and touches the students with, but let's gloss over that. And she goes up to the main character. She's like, there was a genocide in like Rwanda a week ago or something, and this is the expression of their pain. And the teacher leans in, she's like, yeah, but what does it say about you? And I was like, this is why people got picked on for like a straight decade after this movie was made.
The other students that were talking to her, they're like, we were in a cafe and we were talking about all these like great artists and how their work was appreciated after it died. And we were thinking, you should kill yourself. I mean, I didn't expect it to be like a nice thing they're gonna say, but I didn't think they're gonna go that road.
And what's with Matt Lillard's fucking dance scene? That caught me so off guard.
I loved when he was watching himself on The Real World. He's like, I told you to stop touching my stuff. And then he goes and he like swipes like a solo cup across the room, but it cuts back to him in bed watching himself and he's like,
Yeah, he's in the motions.
I remember when Real World and Road Rules and all those
Like those MTV type shows, yeah.
they're full of awful people and edited so horribly that made awful people even worse.
It gave them shitty role models, so they had even more license to be shitty people. And also, was it just me, or did like Paul Walker in this movie look jacked out of his fucking mind? In this movie, he looked like twice as big as he has in like any Fast and the Furious movie. This kind of seems like the crown jewel of like nonsensical teenage dramas. Not necessarily the best one, but like the most stereotypical to me that I can think.
And I'd have to say this is probably one of the most damaging to most people's psyches, because it's like, oh, well, you know what, only if you were to know the right people or have the right amount of money or dress the right way can you be popular, famous, and good looking.
Even the transformation of Rachael Leigh Cook from homely, nerdy art girl to popular, dressed up like prissy prom queen type, it was as much of a transformation as like Clark Kent taking off his fucking glasses. It wasn't like I saw her and I was like, Who the fuck is that?
My main takeaway from this movie was it was pushing that if you were popular enough, you could definitely get your way no matter what. She didn't want anything to do with him at all, but through him like pressuring her and eventually like her like dating somebody far shittier for a brief period, she's just happy to have him. It didn't feel like something that would be a nice kind of relationship to be in.
Like the random scene where he gets the entire soccer team to show up to her house to clean her house so that he can take her out, like to the beach or something.
Every excuse you have, I'm going to make sure I circumvent it, and then you have to date me.
That was also one of my favorite scenes when the dad guesses and he's wrong and the kid gets it right and he like looks up and he's very confused and the only thing he can kind of squeeze out is, who are you people? I think the point of this movie was for Sarah Michelle Gellar to make a cameo.
I must have missed that. I didn't see her at all.
It's like 1 second, and it's only in the pizza scene when he's getting pepper.
I want to thank Brock Street Espresso.
Do you want to rate it first?
What? Oh my God, we have to do that too?
What would you rate this bad boy?
I would rate this 1 Me Too movement. I want to rate this 4 hacky sack tricks out of a possible 20.
I rate this 3 digested pizza pubes out of a possible 10 digested pizza pubes.
I rate this movie 3 rape foghorns out of a possible 10 rape foghorns.
I rate this 3 Be Silent, Be Stills out of 12 Woody Harrelsons.
I want to thank Brock Street Espresso for letting us have access to this wonderful facility. We completely tear apart their back room and make total asses of ourselves here. If you want to come to Ground Zero, get some great coffee while you're at it, come check them out.
I'd also like to thank our sponsor, Man Antler, who gives us double tasty beer.
If you want to check out last week's episode, we reviewed Say Anything. And in the next review that we'll be doing, we'll be covering pretty much my favorite movie, Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou. Obviously, it's coronavirus season right now, so we don't know what we'll be seeing in theaters, but keep your eyes peeled for new content. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that little bell below to follow everything that we're posting over the next few weeks.
If you happen to be listening to this or watching this somewhere that's not YouTube, you might be confused as to what the hell we're talking about. If you feel like it, head over to our YouTube channel. You can get the best experience there. That's where we love it the most. On the tubes.
Is that what the kids are calling it now?
Have espresso and watch some tubes.
See yourself the fuck out right
I'm
now.
out of here. I'm so fucking out of here. We're done.
The like button does a lot more for us than you'd think.
Likes make me feel like I could be Freddie Prinze Jr. in high school.
Every time somebody likes one of our videos, I can go 1 additional minute without crying in the shower.
1 like is me out of the cage for 1 hour, please.
Dislikes. Just start pouring in.